What up, Dokkaners? A new update is set to drop on Global in about 4 days from now, and we are going to take a look at what that update entails right here. Update 5.1.2 is going to be released soon. To be specific, actually, it's going to be dropping on the 8th or 9th, I believe. Let me see. We had a server maintenance announcement. Yeah. So this is happening on the 8th of March, 1700 PST. So that's 1 hour after refresh. So you'll have an hour to do your missions and everything. After which it'll go into maintenance for about 8 hours, and it will be ending at 1 a.m. on the next day. Okay. So let's take a look at update 5.1.2. This is the sneak peek at some of the features. My profile mode. So you guys might have already known about this. This is what dropped on JP in January. This is the My Data section where you can basically see your Dokkan account in a nutshell, and you have other ways to basically check the overall stats and numbers that have been calculated over your time playing Dokkan. The feature My Profile, which will allow you to check your data, will soon be implemented. In My Profile, you can check your title settings and power level. So there's two key components here. We got the power level, which is this one down here, and then we got the title settings, which is this up here. So this is basically like your achievements unlocked, your various feats that you've been able to accomplish during your time playing Dokkan. If you guys have played other games, you might already be familiar with this concept. 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross has this. Legends has this. One of my favorite multiplayer games, Mass Effect, has this. So we'll talk about more of that in just a second. Let's just go in order here. In My Profile, you can check title settings and power level, which is determined by the development of your characters and the number of events you've cleared. So these are the 4 key metrics that they use to calculate your Dokkan account power level. So looking here, we'll start with the center portion, right? 167,000, that is the sample power level that they provided. So here you can get these by basically doing these 4 things. The more hidden potential nodes you have activated, you will get 1 point for each node. This is the least valuable of all of them. Then the second least valuable will be, we're going to skip this middle one, stages cleared by difficulty. So the more stages you complete, the more events you do basically, the more points you get. Dokkan Awakened characters, for each character that you have Dokkan Awakened, that is 100 points. And then the most valuable way to boost your Dokkan account power level is for every link that is maxed out, you will get 1,000 points. That's a lot. That's not easy to get because it does take time, but for every link that is maxed out, you get 1,000 points. So you can imagine some of the crazy numbers that have been had over on the JP side, especially people like Truth, and there are actually some pretty insane Dokkanners on the JP side of the game that have put a lot of time and effort into link leveling. So it's going to be very interesting to see what your guys' accounts look like here. I gotta say, folks, ever since the version Z update, I have been on a rampage, a running riot, if you will, in terms of my link level grinding. I started out at 151, and I am now at 225, and I am not slowing down. So by the time we get this, I will probably have gained about another maybe 10 max link level units or so, which would basically be tantamount to 70 more max link levels, which is 7,000 more points on my power level. So it's going to be really fun to see what my numbers are. As far as, you know, obviously the running gag, me versus Goresh. Obviously Goresh is going to be a whole lot higher because he's been link leveling far longer than me. I only just really started caring about it. And I know some of you guys have also been taking a great deal of interest in your link level grinding. So it's going to be fun to see how you guys measure up to your favorite Dokkan tubers out there. Maybe we'll have Goresh at like the top tier. We'll have Mas Ningen, like a perfect example of the middle tier. He's someone who also definitely cares about link leveling. And then we'll put me at the bottom. So let's just say, out of the 3, let me know in the comments, where do you think you stand amongst the tiers of Dokkan account power levels? If we have 3, if we've got Goresh tier at the top, Ningen tier in the middle, and the Toon tier at the bottom, where do you guys rank? If you're casual, you're probably down there with me, but if you're not, let me know what you guys think. It'll be fun to see what answers you guys provide in the comments. And of course, you know, the more rainbow units they have, the better. Just keep in mind, they don't have to be rainbowed. It says the more hidden potential nodes that are activated. So let's just say you have like 3 rainbows. It doesn't matter. Because if you've got all other units that are like 90%, that still basically accomplishes the same thing. So don't let that dissuade you if you don't have too many rainbows. But that's it for the power level portion. Now let's talk about the rest of this. More titles are scheduled to be added in the future. So the titles, and we'll come back to that. Pixel characters, whose development is determined by your gameplay, will progress. So this right here, at the bottom of the screen, this is basically a visual representation of the numeric value that you were given for your Dokkan account power level. So if you guys don't really care so much about the numbers and how you get it, maybe you care more about the sprite. The sprite will change depending on where you are in terms of your power level. If you have insane power level numbers, then you will have, I don't know if it's more animated or just simply a more grown-up version of the Goku sprite, but I think the highest version of it is a fully grown Goku, like a shirtless Goku who just beat Piccolo Jr. or something like that. I don't remember, but basically, the more tryhard you are, the more animated your sprite will be, is what I'm assuming. We'll have to wait and see what they are. I don't remember what it was on JP, but as you can see on the silhouettes, you've got a Kid Goku on the Nimbus Cloud, you got the Goku Uzaru form, then you have another Goku running around with Milk. So, yeah. We'll see. It'll be fun. And this doesn't get updated on the fly. This happens, I think it's like once a month. So this isn't something that just changes in real time. The more links you add, suddenly your sprite changes. No. This happens once a month. On the subpage, you can check the number of... Okay, so that's pretty much it. Let's move on here. On the subpage, you can check the number of battles participated in each character, or by each character, the number of stages cleared for each event. So this is just more data, more ways for you guys to check out what you've done in the game. If you guys have been link leveling like me, chances are you're probably going to be having your quest mode at number 1, maybe world tournament at number 2 if you guys are tryhard world tournaments. Basically, you'll get to see which characters you use a lot, which events you run a lot. Won't be too surprising, depending on the type of player that you are. Optimized filter. So here's a new one. The category Awakening will be added to the filter. The new category can help you sort out the following types of characters. Characters who can be Dokkan Awakened, characters who can be Extreme Z Awakened, characters who can be awakened into an LR. So these are going to be very useful ways to basically identify your characters a little bit more. This is actually something that I've already taken care of in my tags. I've got a couple of very interesting tags that some of you may not know about. So obviously here's everything. I have the Prime Battler tag, because if I want to run a Prime Battle event, which I do a lot since I like to farm out free-to-plays, I want to know that there are only a certain number of free-to-plays that I could actually use, because it doesn't apply to every free-to-play. It only applies to the ones that are dropped from story events, which is why I have a Prime Battler section. And then I also have a free-to-play section just to identify all free units. And more specifically, I have an EZA section. So these are all of the units that can get their EZAs. And as you saw in that little announcement, they're going to basically be taking care of that for you. So if you guys have an EZA tag yourself, you can remove that because this now basically covers the EZA section. They also have one that can turn into an LR. So if you guys sometimes forget to reverse a unit back to its awakened form, or maybe you're brand new to the game and you can't tell which units can go LR, which ones cannot, this will allow you to see and identify which one's which. Adjusted the maximum number of character slots that can be expanded. The maximum number of character slots that can be expanded by using Dragon Stones will be adjusted. Before the adjustment, 1,000 slots. After the adjustment, 1,500 slots. I gotta tell you guys, I haven't even thought about this since I started playing this game. I had no idea that there was a 1,000 slot initial limit, and now it's been expanded by 50%. That's pretty crazy, 1,500. So if you guys don't know what that is, if you go to your stone shop here, at the bottom, it shows add character slots and restore stamina. Never do this. Only do that when you're actually almost out of stamina. It'll prompt you whenever you're doing a certain event. And here, if you want to actually expand your character slots, you can. For each Dragonstone, you gain 5 more slots. And as you can see, I have the ability to unlock 705 more, which is a lot of stones. Over 140 stones. I'm not doing that. I am not going to be doing that. If I need them, I will use them, but honestly, I have never had a reason to do that because of the updates that they've had in this game, and because you have the ability to stack cards on top of each other. I've never had a problem in terms of, fitting all of the various units that I have in the amount of spaces that I'm already given. So it all depends on who you are as a player. If you're a pack rat who likes to save everything, then maybe this is going to be useful for you. You'll have to burn some stones here and there, but otherwise, this shouldn't be that big a deal. Fix some bugs. The following issues will be fixed. The issue that results in a black screen, the issue with certain pop-ups. So whatever bugs that are in the game, they're clearing it up. And that's pretty much it for update 5.1.2. Now, last thing, back to the whole title thing. This does not affect you in any sort of way other than simply having bragging rights. This is a very, I'm not going to say meaningless feature, but this is something where you can basically show off some of your greatest accomplishments in Dokkan. JP Dokkan had this since January, and here's an example. The ones that are coated with a silver lining, those are like the medium tiers, the bronze are the low tiers, and the golds are the more difficult ones, the more prestigious ones. So basically whatever you get, if you get a Joined Forces Coordination, that means you cleared any stage 300 times with 6 Joined Forces category characters on your team. By the way, folks, these are all going to be available starting from scratch. you're not going to have some of these titles when you enter the update. It's going to have to be earned again. So if you guys were hoping to already have these done, think again. But if you guys play the game a lot, if you guys like to Dokkan responsibly, like I always tell you to do, and you're always running the various stages where you have to farm out the Kais and whatnot, these sorts of things will fall into place over time. You don't have to do all of this at once. This is just something that is there for you to work on in the future. And I gotta say, folks, eventually I would not be surprised if they actually give you some sort of a benefit or some sort of added effect by having certain titles. So let's actually go through a couple of games that have and have not been given any sort of boost. The one notable example would be Legends, because Legends, they do have titles. You see this all the time in your PvP settings. For this one, for example, God of Destruction, Beerus, if you have this one, you could have up to Blast Attack plus 50. So here, the titles actually matter, the banners actually matter. In a game like 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross, however, there's a little mix of both. Some of the more common, easy ones to obtain will give you lesser rewards, additional 4% critical chance when eating critical chance food, Tavern Master. I think the one that I had was Unyielding Warrior or something like that. Oh no, Ultimate Attacker, this is the one that I had. I had this one. Additional 8% recovery rate when eating recovery rate food. So little things like this, it does help significantly in certain situations, so you definitely would want to have these titles in Grand Cross. And lastly, the one example that I like to point out is Mass Effect. I don't know if you guys are Mass Effect fans. I actually haven't played the franchise at all in terms of story. My friend bought me Mass Effect 3 so that I could play the multiplayer game with him, and I fell in love with that game. And actually, this is my banner. This is the banner that I use, the Lone Wolf banner. Let me know in the comments if you guys are Mass Effect fans. The multiplayer was so much fun. So I would solo every single stage, and then I earned this banner. It did absolutely nothing for my account, but I was able to show this off, and I could brag about the fact that I was able to clear every stage on my own in Mass Effect 3's multiplayer. So it is still worth doing if you care about it. If you obviously don't care about having a banner, then it's not that big a deal. But I like this update overall because it does two things. One, it gives hardcore players more things to do, and then it also gives a competitive element to this game in a way that doesn't break the entire foundation of Dokkan. Dokkan is a PvE experience meant for players to play at their own pace, but if you want to have some sort of a competition, you could basically compare your Dokkan account power level to your friend, and you can see how much they've accomplished compared to you, and then use that as sort of a way to continue on with a competition with a rival or something like that. So it's going to be fun to have this. We'll be getting this in about 5 or 4 days, and once that happens, we'll see which one of you guys has what it takes to be Toon tier, Ningen tier, or Goresh tier. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. Let me know in the comments, which tier do you think you would fall into as a Dokkaner yourself, and have you guys played any of those other games that I mentioned? Have you had any sort of fun earning those titles, or has there ever been any sort of cathartic experience that have come from earning these titles in these different games? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And also, one extra question. If you guys are Mass Effect players, which were your favorite characters to run in the multiplayer? For me, it was Geth Juggernaut and the Turian Ghost. Also, be sure to subscribe for more dope content in the future, and click the notification bell so that you let YouTube know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it. Thanks again, stay tuned, and always remember to Dokkan responsibly.